Hey, I'm Cheshi, and this is a little bit of an update on why I haven't been putting out as much content as I used to. There's several reasons to it. The amount of viewers that I had steadily declined, which also took away my motivation to make videos. I started to think that it was better to enjoy the games for myself rather than recording them and putting them on YouTube. And that's one of the reasons. The other reason is that since I've stopped the Doom series, I don't quite know what to play anymore. There's tons of games, I know that, and there's tons of things to play, but I don't quite feel like I am entertaining enough to carry it myself, unless there's a lot of action and things to react to in the game. Aside from having difficulties with playing games, finding motivation to play games and the things like that, I've also been trying my hand at game development myself. As I am currently unemployed, I really want to start my own game studio to make some money and pay my bills, because of course paying bills is a very responsible adult thing to do, which nobody actually can escape from unless you're living off the grid, but that's a completely different story. So anyway, those are actually the things that kind of prohibited me from getting more content out. The biggest thing would be the motivation, but I do want to show you what I have done myself in terms of game development. I have a couple of projects which I've done. Shut up. And I'll show you the first one of that, which is going to be a top-down shooter with RTS/base building elements worked into them. So basically what you do is you shoot up enemy mechs, you know, the big giant robot things. You shoot them up, you salvage them, and then you build your base. And eventually there's going to be a story with it, where you make a foothold on a planet which you're going to invade, because those are the bad guys, you're the good guys, and they took over a planet and you want to have that planet. So here we have the game. Let me explain a little bit. We have a small duder, little guy, cute little bot. He's going to be your main guy, so you have to take care of him. He's going to build your shit, he's going to salvage shit for you, and he's going to do a lot of that. And when I play the game, of course I didn't do it correctly. It should be bigger now. There we go, bigger screen, nice. Right, so don't mind the two bubbles, the red and the green one. Those were for debugging stuff. I don't think it tracks my mouse, but basically wherever my dude is aimed at, that's where my mouse is. So we have the little dude that's going. Let's assign him to build a wall. He's taking some salvage, and with that salvage in his little storage, he's going to build a pretty wall. And you can see it rising, and when it's done, it's done. And we can put on a gate in which he will again grab some salvage from the starting pad. In the future, this starting pad will become something like a dropship. You come down in a dropship on the planet, and if you can see the top right, you can see your power, you can see your salvage. So at some point you need to make what you call it, power plants. You need to build power plants in order to keep your power up, and to keep your automatic defenses in line. Now you can see that a guy ran back from the little gate that we're building back to the dock. I call it dock internally. That's basically because the wall is 10 salvage and a gate is 15 salvage, which means that the little guy needs to return back to the dock to get some more salvage to complete the gate. So this basically is the beginning of the game. There's still not much in it. The main thing I was focused on is actually building a stable foundation for buildings. So the walls, the gates I added today, this storage unit. Eventually you will have like the old games like Red Alert, Command & Conquer, Dawn of War, and actually most of the base building games, you have a maximum capacity for anything. So whether it be ore, I'm not sure what the Tiberian Sun used, but those games you have a maximum and you have to build silos to store whatever resource you're gathering in. The storage the little guy's building right now is actually one of the storage builders to store in salvage. The starting pad will have a limit to start with. I'm thinking of making it slightly bigger than the requirements for the storage building, and of course the starting salvage would probably be 0 as you kill your enemies. But that is one of the projects I have been working on, which is still pretty rough. All the models I made myself. The texture of the grass is something that I got from the Unity asset store, but all the rest is stuff I made myself. I made the animations, I made the models. Well, the textures are not there yet on the buildings, but I'm going to try and make them myself as well. And of course all the programming is done by me. So there we have it, a nice storage container. You can walk on through, you can command the little guy to, hey, go there, go here, go everywhere. Now the next project is most likely one that let's say I'm kind of proud of it, but I'm kind of also not proud of it, basically because I built it in 16 hours, and within these 16 hours I have learned myself how to rig a model, how to animate a model, import it into Unity and actually use it. So in a way it was learning a lot of stuff from it, but on the other hand it's extremely memey. So yeah, be prepared. So let's start it up. It's called Extreme Dodgeball, and as the name might have you suggest, it is about dabbing. And basically what the objective of this game is, there's dodgeballs going towards you and you have to dab out of the way. It's basically a little bit of a reflex game. It's very crude, it's very crappy, it's not very refined, and there are still some bugs like that. Also the ragdoll physics are not entirely okay. But for about 16 hours it's well, I spent another 4 in getting the environments done. I find it pretty amusing, and especially making the sounds and the music and everything. Whoa! So everything accounting to that is one of the things that I've done. And you can turn off the music, or you can turn it on, or a little bit of the... yeah, it's something. This game can be found on itch.io and can be found on GameJolt. So if you ever want to try it for yourself, that's okay. I'll put a link in the description below for you. And well, now it's my biggest project that I'm actually talking about. This game, originally I called it I Am the Locksmith. It's been in development for a long time. I have started it 2 years ago, and when I tried for 48 hours to see how 24 hours marathon to see how far I can get with creating a game. Now in this game I'm trying to make a horror game, and it's you have to escape from some facility. Details about the actual location and everything in between it is a little bit sketchy. Still working on that. It has been paused for a bit, but I really should actually continue with that. It's my best project as to date. I use a lot of Unity assets from the asset store, and there we go. It's starting. So you can see the little bit of spooky atmosphere here. There's a couple of things. If you go, oh shit. So if you go back to certain things, this is the main menu. Really proud of it. I made a texture of you are here. Still could use some work, but it's a work in progress. Here's a little bit of backstory, a little bit of composition. Not going too deep into that. And then you start the game. Since this is a little bit of a debug build, there might be one or two things showing from the sides. Basically, you enter in a abandoned facility in somewhere Russia, because I really like the old Russian style for everything, so it's also going to be themed in like the 50s, 60s era Russian stuff. So this is the long corridor you're starting. I started off within the security booth because that's the debug thing, and there's a monster roaming around, and I'm pretty sure he's around here somewhere. There's a couple of things that still need to be implemented, like player damage, player death. So far I do have that you can interact with the doors. You have your little flashlight, which has a little bit of delay, which I'm actually quite proud of. And when you turn it off, you slowly start to see. As you can see, this is the roof, you know. You slowly can begin to see in the dark, just like in normal... Wait, where did I put the light switch? Just with normal, if you turn off the lights in real life, then usually at first you see nothing, and then over time you will begin to see a little bit clearly. This is a garage. I've been constructing a little bit. Still no signs of the bad guy, the big bad monster. So, and the original intent was that you have to fix a couple of locks in order to progress. Please let me in. Okay, so I haven't fixed that yet. I can go in. But basically, the original intent was you have to fix some locks before you can actually go home, and this one has a different story in which at the end of this corridor you will find a gate, and as soon as you went through the gate it slams shut. And when it slams shut, you have to find a way to get out. I'm really trying to get the atmosphere right. Since I've started on a different location, some of the things are bugged, but it's been a long time since I actually made good progress on this. And with this also you can see in the fact that the site slowly improves with you. And that's actually the biggest project I've been working on for a long time, but it's been postponed now for actually for the shooter game, and I need to swap them out a little bit just to keep things flowing. But also, as soon as I have anything real and anything good to change and show, I will put this up on GameJolt, itch.io. I'm not sure what yet, but I'm going to keep you updated on it. So these are the things that have been on my mind for recently, apart from not feeling that well. And I hope I managed to keep you a little bit updated. I will have more madness for you the next time.